Transformative leaders are kind of leaders that, as we have said, they are basically very prayerful. They take time out to seek the face of the Lord. And then we've also said that those leaders that have that transformative ability, they also prepare for opportunities and they share vision with others. Welcome. This is Marketplace Media, an online platform that engages, equips, and encourages believers to say, Ina Uwezekana. If this is your first time in here, we encourage you to go to our YouTube channel, search for Marketplace Media. Please subscribe, like, and comment, and let us know where you're watching us from. Now, this is what we call our leadership class, and today we want to discuss the 5 kinds of challenges that transformative leaders persevere through, because this is very important. By the way, are you looking for what we call a computer, or are you looking for what we call a desktop? Please look no further, because what we call Fresh World computers are here for you. They are offering these gadgets for you, and you can find them along Tomboya Street, along what we call opposite Imenti House. You can find them there. You will get them. Please don't fail to call them on 0722 399 091. They are the official sponsors of this broadcast. Now, let's continue asking ourselves, what is it that transformative leaders do and do not? And we remember we said it is very, very important in this space and time for us to be able to have those kind of leaders that we call transformative. What is it that they do and don't do? Now, we've shared 3 traits. We've said they are prayerful, they prepare for opportunities, and then number 3, they share vision with others. If you'd like to know more, please don't hesitate to go to our YouTube channel, that is Marketplace Media. Please, you'll find that and learn more. Now, today, allow us to introduce the 4th trait of transformative leaders, and this is very, very important, because if you fail in this, then you'll not be able to bring about the transformation that God would desire you to have. And here it goes, that leadership, transformative leaders perseveres through tough times. Transformative leaders perseveres through tough times. Listen to this. Now, a leader can be delayed. A leader can be delayed, slowed down, but not stopped. Now, if you read through chapter 3 of Nehemiah, you might be tempted to think that Nehemiah's work was very simple. You may think that everybody was actually ready, everybody was enthusiastic, everybody took his position, everybody completed the job. But wait until you go to chapter 4, and especially chapter 4 all the way to 6, then you'll find that there were a lot of opposition that Nehemiah and the builders went through. You can be assured that every time when we engage ourselves in genuine work of the Lord, every time when we are completely sold to serve the Lord, then opposition will come. It will come from internal, it will also come from external. That kind of opposition never goes. Keep on going until up to we complete the assignment. And even when we start a new project, opposition is about to always come. Now, I would want us to discuss 5 types of opposition, or 5 types of challenges that every leader needs to persevere through. We do not want to say that these are the only challenges or kind of obstacles that leaders go through, but based on Nehemiah, he faced 5 of them. There are some people who can even come up with more, but the first one that goes into our list is anger, that they did not like when the wars went up. Anger, they did not like it. Now, the governor of Samaria was furious. He was very, very, very angry, if you ask me. The Hebrew word for furious is burning mad. And Sanballat was becoming angry, or was burning mad for good reason. Should Jerusalem become secure and independent, it simply means that his political and economic interest will be at stake. He will not be able to exercise that that large political space that he had, and was very very important. And his differences with the Ammonites on the east, Arabs to the south, Philistine to the north would be dropped, because after all you would not be able to control them once the wars were completed or were made. And he became very very angry, and his rage was so strong that he could not hide it. And it is very interesting for us to note that a lot of us, when things don't go our way, or when we realize that the things that we are fighting for, when we realize that our interests are normally at stake, when we see that should this go this way or this go this way, we are going to lose. For most of us, our reaction, our response is that we become angry, and we become so angry that it is visible, everybody can see. And dear leader, you need to understand that part of why people are angry at you, when you find people that you are friend with are angry at you, they cannot smile at you, they are burning mad at you, and they cannot speak well about you, they are expressing anger about you. Sometimes you need to understand it has everything to do with their interest. Maybe you were doing things that were helping them now, but now that you're not doing the things that are helping them, that's why they are angry. You need to realize that every person that is angry at you is not angry at you because you've done them wrong, or you've messed them wrong, or you've messed them. The reason why some of them are angry is because when they look at you, you're not benefiting them. If you look, and a classic example is Nehemiah. Was Nehemiah discouraged because of his enemies' anger? No, he still continued pursuing the work of the Lord. He still continued doing that which God has called him to do. And our encouragement today is that even in the midst of when people are angry at us, when those great people are angry at us, we don't need to stop. We need to continue going. The second problem that we need to persevere through as leaders who have a transformative brand or agenda, is that we need to persevere through sarcasm. Sarcasm is when they make the war, they make fun of you. The people of Nehemiah's time were actually making fun when they saw the wars going up. And Nehemiah, for your information, together with the Bildad, had a fair share, or a good share if you ask me, of sarcasm from Sanballat and his friends. If you read chapter 4 verse 2, you see that the people, the enemies for that matter, they scoffed, they laughed, they made fun of the wars. Actually, for them, when they looked at the whole project, it seemed useless, if not impossible. One of the biggest goals of sarcasm is to cause the workers, or is to cause you to feel discouraged, is to break the enthusiasm, is to break the morale. And they knew Nehemiah enemies actually knew, should they promote sarcasm, should they make fun of the project, then the builders would be discouraged. They were going to give way to their energy will lose, their enthusiasm will go down, their morale will go down, and so they would not be able to continue with the building. Sarcasm is what we call Tobias anointing. When you laugh at the people, when you make fun of what people are going through, when you're laughing at the project, when you're laughing at this man is trying to make ends meet for his family, his family is laughing at him. Another lady there is trying to make ends meet. Somebody is laughing at them. You've called this Tobias anointing, and it is very dangerous. And one of the things in which you can be able to handle Tobias anointing is just to ignore and to keep on going. Just don't listen to their sarcasm, because the moment when you sit down and allow time and day to listen, to soak into those sarcasm, of course your morale will go down and you'll not be able to continue. So one of the tricks, one of the hack that you can use is to allow yourself to continue to assume, to downplay, to ignore, to assume that nothing is happening. Number 3, transformative leaders, not only do they need to persevere through what we call sarcasm and anger, but again, number 3, they need to persevere what we call intimidation. When the enemies are angry at you and they force the walls not to go up. Sometimes when the enemy is angry at you on actually manufactures sarcasm and employs sarcasm, but it does not work, the enemies, of course, will go through the next level. And what they are going to do is that they are going to intimidate. Nehemiah did not stop the work. So the enemy had to be more aggressive. He had to use threats, he had to use intimidation. And the level at which the intimidation was given was passionate. They were so passionate, they were completely sold to that assignment. And we see Sanballat and his company, given that they did not want the walls to go up, given that they were opposed to the work from day one, and they did not believe that it was right for Jerusalem to have wars. They believed Jerusalem should have maintained status quo. And now that anger and sarcasm was not working, why don't we pull the tool that is called intimidation? Why don't we use the strategy that is called threats and intimidations? And leaders, look at us, please, dear leader. A leader who uses intimidation has very poor people skills, because there are so many other better ways. There is a better ways of encouraging, of influencing people, or making people to do the things that you'd want. Instead of intimidating, instead of using this shortcut that is called intimidating, we can always use what we call inspiration. And people who use intimidation, they don't believe in people, they believe in using people. They think people are gadgets, they are machines, and they have a very low opinion of people. And so it is very important for us to feel that we do not need to make people do things using threats or using sarcasm or using anger. And when threats and intimidations come, and you remember in the church, part of the reason why the church has grown too very much and grown in a big way is when the enemy employs the threat. Because for some people, instead of taking those threats, they have braced themselves through these threats. Some of them have gone through death. But again, the church has become very, very powerful. Number 5. Very, very important is that transformative leaders needs to persevere through discouragement. And discouragement is when we speak ill against the builders so that the walls don't go up. Discouragement is crushing. Discouragement has a way of sapping the energy, of sapping the morale, of sapping the excitement. It has a way of dampening that fire. It extinguishes that inner fire, that inner drive. It actually presses blocks and makes it impossible for people to move. One of the things that the Sanballat did to the builders is to make the work appear too much and incomplete. And one of the things that enemies do is that they make the project too hard, too impossible, too difficult, so that the people can be able to give up. And one of the things that discouragement was spreading through the builders is spreading negative reports. A lot of leaders and a lot of believers are actually crushed because they are small and discouragement that are spreading. Oh, he's not like this. He said this. This work is too much. That money that has been accessed too much, you cannot be able to raise it. This is too hard. We've tried. It is beyond our capacity. It was not even allocated to us. And that kind of level of discouragement, what does it do? It actually dampens the hearts of people. It actually dissuades people. It actually makes people to feel to lose encouragement and strength, and they are not able to go on. But then Nehemiah was smart. Instead of giving up, instead of throwing in the towel, instead of saying, yes, it is too much, I'm not continuing with this kind of task, Nehemiah chapter 4 verse 6 actually says the people had a heart to work. In other words, the people worked with all their heart. It is very important for us to realize that when you are tempted to discourage, those are the times when you need to continue going. I'm in love with what I call Johnny Walker syndrome, because in the John Walker syndrome, they actually say keep walking, and that is the encouragement that I would wish to throw to all of us. Those of you leaders that are feel this is too much, I cannot continue. That wife that feels I cannot continue with this marriage. This man who feels I cannot continue with the ministry, I've taken too much. That son, that daughter that feels this is too much. We want to encourage you that for us to be able to bring around a transformation within the space that the Lord has allowed us to be, then we must be able to persevere. We must not throw in the towel. We must not give up. Just as Hebrews 12 verse 2 says, focusing on Jesus, the author and the perfecter of our faith, who for the joy set before him endured the cross. Consider him who did not give up, so that you don't grow discouraged or give up. It is very, very important that we do not give up, that we don't grow discouraged, that even in the midst of facing a lot of discouragement and a lot of problems, that we keep going. This is Marketplace Media, an online platform that engages, equips, and encourages believers to say inawezekana. If this is your first time being here, we encourage you to hit the subscriber button so that every time YouTube uploads a new video, YouTube will be able to notify you. Thanks so much for watching. My name is John Kimani, and remember, we were dealing with 5 kinds of challenges that transformative leaders persevere through. We've said it's anger. Then the second one is intimidation. We also say the third one is discouragement. We've also said what was the fourth, and the okay, let's take it again. It is sarcasm, it is anger, number 3 it is intimidation, and discouragement. That is number 4. And then number 5 is what we call negativism. Negativism has everything to do with speaking impossibilities about the project. And interesting enough, just as within Nehemiah, negativism actually does not come from outside. It actually comes from people that are close to you. The people that are close to you look at because they have developed what we call a familiarity. They know everything, then they have the right, they have the information, they know your weak points, and so they are able to speak negatively. And when negative reports are spreading and when they are leaking, then what happens is that the people give up. The kind of negative reports, one of the goals of negative reports is that they spread bad reports. They make others to believe the wrong report. And one of the funny things is that negativity does not die. It keeps on coming and coming over and over again. How do you handle this? It is very simple. You encourage yourself, you keep yourself focused, you don't give up, you trust in God, you connect yourself with people that are encouragers, you choose to remain steadfast, you choose to remain faithful, you do what we call focus, that is, you follow one course until successful. In other words, you keep yourself not distracted, you keep going. And when we do those things, I believe totally and completely that the Lord will be able to give us success. We're going to rise to become what we call transformative leaders, because that is what God would want us to be. If this lesson have been a blessing to you, please consider giving us a thumb up. Please like and comment and tell us what you're watching us from. This is Marketplace Media, an online platform that engages, equips, and encourages believers to say inawezekana. My name is John Kimani. Remember to tune in next time for more